Next, I'm going to invite our author spotlight speaker, Bradley, to come up and tell us about his author journey. So please welcome Bradley.
Super Kim, I'm as short as KK.
Hey,
Can you hear me, Matt? Yeah, I'll squat down a little bit. Okay, so I'm probably an oddball person to have for author spotlight. I'm probably the least prolific author that's ever done this. I'm also probably the only nonfiction author that's done this that I remember. I'm not much of a writer. I've always been a big reader. I've probably read, I know this sounds crazy, somebody else might be like this, between 4,000 to 5,000 books in my life. I still to this day read a novel or two every week. The Navy, on one of my trips in 180 days, I read about 200 books or so because we had a lot of spare time and I had insomnia, so I read a lot. So I do financial coaching on the side, which is great because this lady's going to talk to you about financial stuff later today. Multiple streams of income. So I love money. That's a good deal. So I was doing a marriage retreat. I'm also a chaplain for first responder type people. I had a grant to do a marriage retreat, and they told me, go get some books you can give people to give out, go on with financial stuff. So this was the type of stuff I found. The problem with this book is it's supposed to be helping you about money, and they want $29.99 plus tax.
I'm gonna cut that expense.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Spending $30 and you got to put it on credit cards, Carol spent plus. It's got all these nice charts and tables, and it tells all these lovely stories. That's a bunch of crap. You don't need that. Edit that out, Matt. That's not crap. So, then there's a bunch of books. There's a Robert Kawasaki or something that does the Rich Dad's whatever, and they're all full of good information. You should not have to wade through all this to learn about finances. Honestly, I can tell you how to do your finances in 3 simple sentences. Get with me later if you want those 3 sentences. You can fix your money problem in 3 simple sentences. So, we spent an hour in bookstore. I told my wife, I'm not spending $500 on books to hand out to people. That just seems idiotic to me. And she said, what are you going to do? I said, I'm going to go home and write a book. And of course, my wife said, yeah, you're stupid. You're not going to write a book. I said, watch me. I went home. It's a short book. Anybody want to take a guess how long this took me to write? Any guesses?
Half an hour.
11 days from start to finish. Not quite half an hour. I can't type that fast. I can talk that fast. I can't type that fast. My goodness, I'd have to hire somebody to do that. Yeah, so it took me about 11 days to do. My sister-in-law is a 7th grade, they don't call it English anymore, language arts teacher. She edited it for me. She said, hey, dummy, there's no more 2 spaces after a period. That was when I learned typing back in the 80s, you did. Yeah, that's no longer a thing. She also said some of my colons and semicolons, whatever, in the wrong spot. So I wrote this book. I love it. It's probably, I don't know anybody else does this. I will give you an absolute money-back guarantee on this book. If you give me the $5 for this book and you don't get $5 worth of information, you can toss it in the garbage or bring it back to me. I'll give you a crispy $5 bill back. Finances is not something that should be that difficult. So I wanted something really simple. A lot of people actually buy these for college and high school graduates. You give them as a graduation present because they're getting to work for it. They're making some money. It's pretty simple. You can apply these principles. I was not in this group at the time. I didn't know how to publish a book. So guess what I kept Googling trying to figure out how to get a book on Amazon. I kept Googling Amazon, how to put a book on there. That's not a thing. It's Kindle. If somebody would have said the magic word to me, that would have cost me $0 to write this book. Instead, I got one of the, I think it was 48 hours press. I liked it because, hey, we can print your book in 48 hours. It's reasonably priced. I think I paid like $2.57 a copy for these. If I buy them from Amazon, last time I looked, it was like $2.40 something. So it's virtually the same cost. I bought about 100 books up front. I've sold maybe 200 some odd of these. I've given away another 100 or 200 because I really don't care if I get the $5 or not. That's not making me rich. I'm really hoping Dave Ramsey's people find this book because it kind of makes fun of him. That's why it's called Davis. And I say about half the stuff that he said is wrong, so I really want him to call me so I can get on the show. Or get sued, I don't know which. So I spent some money out of pocket, so I spent like $325. And had I known about Kindle, I would not have had to spend a penny because that's the magic of Kindle. You can put your book on there. I assume still to this day for absolutely free. Now, if nobody buys it, you don't make any money. We got into a big discussion. KJ, if somebody reads one of your books on Kindle Unlimited, you get like, what, $1 if they read it?
My books are long. It's a page read, so my big long books, if you read the whole thing, it's
What I get, they buy them.
Okay, so KJ gets $3 or $4 or $5. Anybody want to enter a guess at what I get if somebody leaves through this entire book?
30 cents. I'm set on 30.
17 cents.
Oh!
I put this out one year, the first year I wrote, I said, hey, everybody give me a, I said, hey, if you have Kindle Unlimited, get on here, read the book. I found out very quickly, if you order the book on Kindle Unlimited and don't leave through it, I get 0 cents. So like 37 people did that for me, only 2 of them actually bothered to read it, so I got like 34 cents of that. Great advertising. But yeah, so I'm hoping to get an absolute money back guarantee. So I do some writing. I'm trying to write a fiction book. I don't know how many people write fiction that is much more difficult than nonfiction. Nonfiction, you literally just put down stuff that you already know in a cohesive fashion. And people are like, oh yeah, that's good information, we'll buy that book. Fiction, whole other ballgame. So I've been stuck on chapter 3 for about a year now, so who knows if that will ever happen. I am working on another book. I want to do, because I'm writing chaplain for first responders like police, fire, EMS, dispatchers, those type of people. I'm really trying to write a book that's geared toward them, because most of them are sort of clinically insane because they're in that field, so they don't know how to think right. Wind is laughing a little bit too much. My son is in the police academy right now. He's really bugging me to write a book about my police experiences. I am working on that. I don't think the stories are as funny if you don't tell them in person. Like if I tell you the story about the crazy people I met, everybody laughs, but then if you read it in the book, I really don't know if it would be that funny. But I'm working on that. I know Tom and somebody else in here were in law enforcement too. I'm a real oddball for law enforcement. I did every single day in uniform patrol. Everybody else was like, oh, I was a detective, I was the chief, I was this. I was like, yeah, I just owned a gun belt and took calls for 18 years. It seemed like way more fun than sitting in an office doing paperwork. You get to drive really fast and fight people, and you get paid, you get beat up every now and then. It's not bad living. So if I had to do this again, and this because I was not in this group, I just didn't know any different, I would not have spent that $325 up front. I would have gone straight to Kindle, make my little bit of money off of it, I don't care. So that's the biggest thing I learned on my journey is finding people to ask the question. I will spend as much time researching as I did writing the book. I'm like, surely you don't have to pay to get a book on here. And you can look on Amazon all day long. It never leads you to Kindle for some reason. So I know that now. Just use the magic word Kindle. So I am still working on stuff. If I write a book for law enforcement, it's going to be like this, but have even smaller words because they're not all that smart. So we're going to really. I'm a retired cop. I can joke about it. No, police they're terrible. They're good at fighting crime. They're terrible with money. You'll hear this phrase all the time, man, if I work enough overtime jobs this month, I can pay for X. And I'm like, oh, that is so stupid. Don't say overtime, I can pay for something. That's going to be my first chapter. Slap yourself every time you say the word overtime. Okay, I'm not going to take my whole 10 minutes. That's what I'm saying. I can't make it funny in a book, though. I don't know why. Probably some people do laugh at stuff in my book. I think my funniest sale was as soon as this came out, I was in a group with a bunch of other financial coaches, and one of them, she had bought it and read it. She goes, hey, how much would it cost me to get 25 copies of that? And I was like, why do you need 25 copies of my book? She goes, well, I'm going to give them to my clients. And I'm kind of like, they're reading my book, should they be my clients? I don't know. I do it as a ministry now. I don't even take money for it, so I don't really care. I don't get clients or not. I help people occasionally. Does anybody have any questions? I'm not going to take my whole 10 minutes, so ask any question you want.
How many did you bring of your books today?
I don't know. I've got 8 or 10 copies. If anyone wants to buy, they're literally $5 cash. I have some after the meeting. I'll sign it for you and everything. That way, whenever I get sued, you can say, I got a copy of the book, I got a signature. Or I get on the show. I might get on the show. I don't know which.
The reason it's interesting, you remind me, Dave Grayson, when I was working in KKYN in Plainview, we actually broadcast this program.
And I love that, and I'll say that in the book. This honestly changed my life. I remember my mother-in-law and my mother, I don't know if they just thought I'm an idiot with money. Probably true, I was at the time. Somebody gave me this book for Christmas, like, hey, you probably need to read this. I'm like, okay. And I was like, that makes sense. I'm tired of being a broke idiot, and I want to be a rich idiot one day. That sounds like, no, I'm not rich, but I'm not broke idiot.
Scholarship for churches.
And like,
that's right, that information.
my problem with financial these universities, good information, but it's just like this book, it's too much. I can literally tell you the 3 sentences. You all want to hear the 3 sentences? Spend less than you make.
What?
Yes, Lord, bit less than you make. Avoid credit whenever you can. You can't always avoid credit. And save and invest early and often. If you do those three things, you will have money. I know 3 people that are millionaires. You wouldn't know it by talking to them. They look just like us. All 3 of them got that way by putting 5% of their salary into a 401k the first day they got their good job, and now they're 55. And they have 1.2, 1.3, 1.6 million dollars in the bank. Don't even know where it's invested. They just put money in the bank.
Okay, what if it's too late to invest early?
Okay. I read this book and changed all this when I was like, I didn't start till I was like about 40-ish.
Later than that, but come on.
I'm not going to guess your age, Lauren, because I'm not stupid. It's never too late. I'm telling you, it's not. When I was 40 years old, when I turned 40 years old, I asked my wife if we'd go out for birthday dinner. She looked at the checkbook and said, if you want to split a Happy Meal at McDonald's. I'm 55, I no longer have that issue, so it doesn't take that long to turn your mind. I mean, it's obviously mindset. This book doesn't say, it hardly has any numbers in here. I can talk about financial stuff. I don't care what your house payment is. I don't care how much you make. You can fix financial problem with no money. It's all mindset. Once you decide this is what, it's kind of like losing weight. You can tell I don't do a good job of that. Dieting is very simple. Eat lean meats, don't take in a bunch of calories. It's just hard to implement. Right? Okay. Any other questions? Nobody else has any questions? All right. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.